now.
So now we are live.
Wait.
And now I feel nervous.
Not yet. Now. Okay. So Lucy.
Yay.
Away.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
so
let me just wait. So this is Luciano Costa. He is the software architect. He is a cinema aficionado. It's basically the two things he talks about and some other stuff. And he likes to study like the history of cinema and different styles and delve into this universe. And when asked what he wanted to talk about today, he said black and white cinema. And then we found this topic, the underappreciated magic of black and white cinema. He'll be talking from 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And then we're going to be opening to questions and discussion on the topic. Okay, now take it away.
Now I can take it away. Okay. Not nervous on anything, but okay. So yeah, Gustavo asked me to talk about something, and I didn't wanted to talk about tech or something like this. And I really like cinema, and it was something easy for me to talk because I studied something that I like. And I was reading some things about people doing nowadays movies in black and white and what it is, the idea behind it. Because now we have color even on our smartphone, and we can easily do things on color. And why black and white? First of all, when the idea of making moving pictures to do a thing, to be something that people use to understand, to get an idea on a screen or something like this. The main idea was to get in the pictures and get moving on a certainty of frames. And the first panoramic view was created on black and white because it was the main two colors that was created, because the film was just getting the contrast of a scene in the camera. And this was cheap and it was simple, and people started to use that as they seem to like, and they started to play with light and to play with the contrast of the things, and became a complexity of how we can watch movies. The whole experience is about make you in this universe that you are watching. And then some years later, people started to use a technicolor, that is a way to add add colors to pictures. Like we had seen in Magical Vase, that we have this sepia, now we can say filter, but they use this sepia screen to capture when I can't remember the name of the main character from Wizard of Oz.
Dorothy, I think, right?
Dorothy, yeah. When Dorothy is in Kansas, they use this beige theme, like to represent how sad it is to be on Arkansas. That is her home. And then she enters to Oz, and just opening the door, people started to see Technicolor, like in one of the first times that people use it in a great movie. And then Technicolor was more plausible to people, because people like to consume art with color since the beginning of times, because people start to painting and using things with colors from nature to make pictures and some other forms of art. And this passes to movies too. It became something more affordable for productions, and people started to use it color since then. And after Wizard of Oz, we had another movies too that directors and producers and photographers were starting to use more color to express the feeling of every character or what you have to feel on that ambience. Like you can see Chocolate Factory, turning the Chocolate Factory here. Everyone has a different type of color of clothing, so you can get a lot of the characteristics of everyone. Like you can have Johnny Depp in dark colors, so it's kind of a mysterious thing since it is a fantastic universe because it's so full of colors. And we have people who are so joyful, like the red-haired lady there, but we can have some depressing things like the kid in black that is so much aggressive and likes to destroy things. We got this on Polar Express. Like we have lots of people, lots of kids with normal clothing. We have the guy from the train that uses blue. Okay, it's a calm color to demonstrate that it is a safe place there. And we have in context there on the behind of the scene we have Santa Claus with his bag of presents. And I mean Plan too, that is you kind of see everything in red in warm colors because it's a comfort place for her. But you can see like the blue lamp that can express like something that is quite unusual on a scene like that. So you can get comfortable to the scene and get something of her expression to yourself. But when the movie it's black and white, like you can see more of this. You can't feel that difference that color makes. You don't have the psychology of colors. Like we have the girl with dragon tattoo. That's a movie that it's colored, but all the scene, everyone is in black and white. All the scenario and gets shades of gray because of this. And the only things that matters to you is the things that the torturer is going to use in the main character that is painted in orange in behind of the scenes. They are the tools for torture. So the director made this like an artifact, a visual artifact, to see that as a danger, something that you have to pay attention. That is the main thing that will make you be afraid of that scene to get these emotions. But in black and white, you kind of disappears this, but it is starting to get interesting too, because you not start to pay attention on colors, but the main thing on black and white movies that is to pay attention to the light of the scene. Like as I said to Gustavo before, when you walk in a dark road with poor lighting, you tend to be afraid of the environment because it's not so very friendly. It is something that is so much dark and you cannot see something, you cannot predict things. And that's the main idea that we get on black and white movies. In this picture right now, I can show you the difference on the same movie, but people people know, but the director said that he wants to try something different and something that can make people enjoy it because it is convenient to the genre of the movie. That it was with Logan. I don't know if you have watched this. It's the last film from Wolverine. It is a superhero movie, and it is a Western kind of noir movie because it's about someone with a mission. He has to get someone from the point A to the point B, and everything on the movie express like the lighting was an expression of the main character. That is the character that has the most time of screen on the movie. And this is quite a particular scene, because in colors you know that it is raining because it is in shades of blue and people are in a funeral using umbrellas. But when you got in black and white, you almost can't see the character. You just see a silhouette of it. And the direction of art, people start to play with the contrast and the saturation of things, so you can see the raindrops. So you got this context more dense and more sadly from this perspective just of the light and the environment that the black and white can show you. And that's the thing about colors. You can understand more about the character because you can get more of the their characteristics of their personality of a character. But when you are in black and white, you just see the first thing that you know of is just the face. You don't pay more attention to anything else more than that. Like that's something that people were afraid when started to use colors in movies. Since from directors and critics and the own industry, people said that adding colors for movies was not the proper way to do movies, because you will start to make something easy enough to understand to be complex too much for people to usual people to understand it. But that's the thing. Black and white, it's so more condensed about this. Like I don't know if you watch it, Casablanca. There's a scene about the main character, that is the one from the right, is rejecting this lady, and everyone in this room is dressed in white. She is the only one in black, like she doesn't belongs to this place. She is a stranger in the nest, you know, and she is kind of expelled for people who were in black or were in white. She still uses something of white colors, like her blouse behind the jacket, and he has this flower or tissue on the pocket, like she wants to fit in. But no, she doesn't belong to that place, so the people start to avoiding her and to pushing her away from there to make the scene continue. Or if you watch it cycle, you can understand who can be the good guy, like the lady before, that is in all white and she's naked and she has white skin, and the villain, that is just someone who you can know is just a shade of pure black with a knife, and it's just the enemy within that image. And that's something that we can use, that people still uses on nowadays. That is like in Star Wars. It is a film from 77, post-war, but it is a colored movie, and we have things like this. You start this conflict, that is people from gray and people from whites, that is the stormtroopers. They start this fight, and when everybody in gray was killed, enters Darth Vader, that is, and it starts more dance and music, and he starts to investigate, and he's just so angry with everyone. You know that he is the menace of that place. It's so like it's like in a snap on your brain. Just know that. And we get we get some other movies like this, like people will start to use all black and white in all the scenario, like Seven. I don't know if you watch it too. Seven, we have all this ambience in light and shade in black and white and shades of gray. All of the scenario is quite a dark, and so it's just poor lighting of the sun came from the windows with Persians. And then it appears the killer, and the killer whites red, and he had have blood in his hands and his face, and he is peaceful, just different of every other character that appears to you. Everyone is in black or in white and are depressed or sad or something, and he is just the calm one, but he is the killer. He is the person who is most calm on every scene. And in the end, the values are inverted because the villain pushes the investigators to wide open air, and it is afternoon, so everyone is in shades of orange and red, and the people are black and white are discomfortable on that ambience, and he's just calm with it. You got all this perspective with lighting too. The colors, okay, they are the main idea on the scene, but until the killer shows up, everything on the movie is in shades of black and gray. No, and that's why I thought about saying about black movies, because black and white movies, because it's another whole experience. It is just an experience that you do not pay attention to try to understand people of why they're wearing stuff or not. It's just the information that is snaps on your fingers just because it's there, and is you can perceive because it's the first thing that you know, and something is revealed from the shadows or something like this. The play that the director do with lighting and the contrast of the camera, it's something really amazing, and it's a whole completely experience from colored movies. And someone has questions to this?
Okay, is it finished?
Yeah, I just put this quote from this movie, and it's a black and white movie, so it's kind of a joke. I just didn't want to put just questions because it's a cliche.
They didn't get it at first. Okay, I was on first. So we've had people sign up to the talk, and some of them got the chance to ask you questions.
Okay.
Before I go into them, and then we can also address people's questions live right now. I was just thinking about how to define black and white in relation to our perception of it. I like to play around with photography, as you do too. And when I go into the editing mode, right, like when I edit a picture, not only can I change saturation or like shadow or levels of black and white and this stuff related to color, but I can also change the cropping. I can crop the picture. And it's one of the most fascinating things to do in photography, to crop a picture, because it's the same picture, but then when there's less information, you just process that in a completely different way, right? Like I first noticed that when I was editing my pictures from when I went to Europe with a group, with the choir, and there was a picture in the Louvre, like beside the pyramid, and there were people in the background, and I just cropped into them, and I could see a whole new scene, you know, that didn't involve this huge pyramid that was stealing away the attention. So a way, like while you spoke, and also based on the things that you had us watch, maybe black and white cinema is chromatic cropping, right? It's a way to remove the amount of information, and it allows you to notice things that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise, even though it has been on the picture this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's quite amazing too, because like I said, it's not just the way you crop a scene or something, or monochromatic crop, but how you crop it. Black and white movies, they tend to, like I said before, say to play with the saturation of pictures. So it's not just just remove color from the picture, but what you want to make important, that like you have this place with some shadow but how much of shadow you want to put it to hide something, or just to make something in evidence, not to hide something, but put another thing in evidence too. Like in noir movies, that is a kind of a genre. I don't know if it's a genre, because it is not quite sure what is a noir movie, but they are known for this name. Gustavo can say better that noir means black and in French, and it was a common name to black and white movies of detectives, from film movies of mystery. You have certain elements, but one of the elements is that you have to use the lighting to express the importance of someone or something on the scene, and everything is got on a pitch black or something like this, because you have this so much attention on one thing and one thing only. And nowadays we can see, like we have this movie called Sin City. Okay, it's based on a graphic novel, but all the graphic novel is in black and white, and you have certain elements on, I don't know, yellow, like blood, you can have on red too, but everyone and everything on the scene is black and white. You can have you have there the game with colors, but you can have to the playing with the saturation and the shadows in the determined scene.
Interesting. I'll actually prioritize questions coming from here now, and then I'll go over the ones that we asked before. So guys, do you have any questions? Comments?
What's your favorite black and white movie apart from Casablanca?
Yeah, Casablanca is one of my favorites.
Any other ones?
That is really a difficult question, but besides Casablanca, that is one of the greatest things that I have watched. I think Logan, that is one of the that I really love too. But I have cycled with it. I think it was the first black and white movie that I really wanted to know about this world. And then I watched it, and the story is amazing. The ambient of the mystery you have in it, it's amazing too. But it's just the main thing of the genius of Albert Hitchcock. But it was the first movie that made me want more of black and white movies. It is the first that came into my mind. Psycho.
Nice.
That
I
is
have a question about that. Like,
that is
the killer seems to be even more darkened out than he would be naturally, because there's no reflection from the tiles in front of him. So he was like actually scraped off in a way, like his
yeah.
face.
The idea is just you don't know who the killer is.
It does give a mysterious effect, and I think black and white movies back in the day, it gives that unique effect where it allows you to focus on the subject a lot better. Colorful movies, there's a lot more distraction, so I think there is like a genuine appreciation for black and white movies because it allows you to, I suppose, just kind of like really try and get a sense of the feeling of who the villain really is. And I'm not gonna lie, it does shit me up. It does scare me as well. I think black and white movies have that real added effect. So you're swaying me to watch a black and white movie tonight, or a silent movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
Yeah, it has something. I don't remember which director say this comment, but it was something that I can really relate to. That is, you cannot remember very well of the colors that you think on your entire life. Sometimes you just remember things in black and white because you know the form, you know the shape of the things, but you don't remember quite well of the aspects of the color and how the light can affect this thing. You know, you just know the shape, and that makes you vivid. And it is to one of the most greatest things that you can play with the black and white. Like you have a movie called Amnesia. I don't know if you heard of. They had this play to get between different timelines on the movie, and some of the scenes they are in the black and white. That is a kind of play to like to bring back some memories or something like this.
Amnesia. Make sure to add it to the film recommendations afterwards.
Yeah, I think the name is Memento. It's just it is people
Memento.
will start to, yeah, it is a movie that is on colors, but they have so much of the aspects, like I said, of lighting that are that makes it a noir movie too. You can have certain aspects that you can relate to a noir movie.
Interesting. Gabi has a question here. What's the most famous black and white movie?
I think Psycho is just the most reference movies of all times. Casablanca too, but Casablanca it is like a drama. It's a romance. It is not so referenced, but Psycho is the most referenced of all. You can see in cartoons, you can see in movies, TV series, and everything else. Even just someone doing a joke of a killer about a killer, or someone in the shower, people tends to do jokes and use Psycho as a reference. I think it is the most common one.
Interesting. Psycho. Paula has a question here. She left a question before. Let me just preface that. We do associate black and white films to more cult cinema, right? Like, I mean, a more like have to think more. It's not a place you visit to relax and just to watch a film, you know, like. So, in one of your videos that you recommended us watch, there was a mention of usually it being reserved to hipsters and to cinema lovers, and also to directors and other people who want to make cinema. And then she's asking you here, do you watch dumb films just to relax, or just complex ones? And does black and white film like cinema navigate these two worlds, or is just one of them?
No, you can have jumps like I said, dumb movies in black and white too. It is old movies, but we don't have like a nowadays comedy on black and white. I didn't watch it, but I don't believe so, because people use colors to make jokes too. So it's when more colorful, more joyful a thing is, it's difficult to create comedy in black and white. But we have some, like we have Charles Chaplin. Charles Chaplin used it like in all of his career they made in black and white movies. We have Abbott and Costello that is on black and white. That is from that scene. We have here in Brazil we have Mazzaropi, that we have colored movies too, but he has some black and white movies too, and it is some redneck guy from the countryside that comes to the city, and it's quite joyful too. But no, black and white movies is not just for people who want to understand cinema. Like cinema has to be for this more pure concept of art. It is just a different experience, you know. Like I said before, like I showed from Logan. I watched Logan in the color 3 times at the cinema, just because I like the story, I like the character, the actor was really good, and it is a really fun movie. It's not funny, it's just a fun to watch because it's something that you enjoy to watch. And I got to see Logan Noir, that I think it's my favorite, but because I really like Western movies, like movies that you have this complexity on the main character. And when I saw it in black and white, it punches me in a different way from the colored one. The amounts of information between the scenario, it's reduced to get more focus on the determined things that are important to the character or to the momentum of the movie, to that scene in specific. It's just a different experience, you know. And it is still a superhero movie, but the experience on colors and black and white changes how you are affected from the message the movie wants to get in there. Like we have this scene on Logan that he is just it is like the funeral of Charles Xavier. He shows down, and in it has this scene that the girl gets on the Wolverine's hand, still with the claws on it, and in black and white is just different because the hand of Logan is more rugged and is more dirty. The blood are like mixed with the dirt that he has to shove it down to bury his friend, and all the weight on this scene is different from when you get on colors, because it's more dirt. You can feel more about what everything on that scene really meant to. Even the sparkle of the eye is different because they play with the saturation to get more details on the eyes of the characters. It is something to really important on black and white movies, that when someone will start to cry, the eyes starts to sparkle more.
Wow.
So like I said before, it's just a different experience, but it not means that you have to be a film aficionado to watch it.
But what kind of challenges did they face when turning that film black and white? Did they have to change any scene in the sense of like how close it was to the camera or something like that? Or it was just like
no, they just got the movie, but it is something really interesting in it. I don't know if everyone knows here. It has the process of creating a movie or a video. People on YouTube do that. Beyond producers and directors and actors and photography experts, we have
the airport.
we have people in cinema that just are paid for color movies. It's a colorist, just like an artist, just paint the picture.
Yeah.
And we have this on colored movies because they have
color grading, right?
yeah, and We have these uncolored movies that is just to how amount of blue or red you want to in a specific scene. You have to create this equality of the gradient and the hue on every scene in every frame to get the main idea of this context. And is the same thing for black and white movies. He will play with the saturation. He will play here. They will play with the saturation. They will play with the amounts of color and the amount of shadow they use it to do it. They still tend to put more color or something to just create the contrast, the exact contrast they want to do it, the amount of white they want to show on something. And it's quite the basic, the same process. What it is the real the real difficult for this kind of thing is just the genre of the movie. Like you cannot do this a lot with comedy, like unless the black and white is supposed to be the joke on it. Um, the genre of the movie can influentiate on it. Like I don't feel to saw like Avengers, the Infinity War, like that kind of amount of superheroes on the same scene doing different things and sparkling things. It couldn't be done with black and white because it was just a show off of lights and you cannot differentiate things properly. But in a more calm, condensed move that you can play with all the ambience to get specific things on the scenario, it's just a movie that you know everything was going in there, like Logan, for example. Even being an action movie with violence, like blood spilling and things like this, you can get this raw image of everyone and every action that these people are doing on that scene. So it is easy to understand and easy to focus more on everything on the scene. You know?
Interesting. Very nice. So you cannot just turn everything into black and white and expect it to work, right?
Yeah, it's not simple as that.
So we've got a few more questions here. Star Wars. So why only Darth Vader is black if usually the black and white duality communicates bad and good? Why stormtroopers do white? And also there were some cases in which this symbology was subverted, right? And white was bad while black was good. So can tell us about these two things?
Different from the now it's my nerd geeky talking about because it is Star Wars. In the universe of Star Wars, the Imperial Army it's treated differently of everyone else. The stormtroopers are like the basis of the Imperial Army. So it's just someone expendable from everyone else. They are chosen in white. They are the most killed people on all the movie. And when you start to getting up the ranks, you got shades of black on it. Like you've got generals and got more tenants or something. People of higher grades on the army, like in the scene that everyone is doing that it is a reunion that we have the high ranks on the Imperials. They are talking about the attack on the rebel base, and everyone is in gray. The only thing that difference is like the description of the rank that they had on the chest. But Darth Vader is still in black. And when you got like episode 6 or 5, when you got to see the Emperor is all in black too. He is the higher rank. He's the Emperor of the Empire, and Darth Vader is just his pupil. He is his right hand. You know, is the most closer thing to the highest rank on the Empire. So that's why it's so different on that scene, because it is the introduction of the character there. It is just a white space, okay? You have white soldiers, suited in white, but then you had this person came all in black, creating a disturbance on the scene. And everyone kind of fade out because of the scenario, and you just seeing Darth Vader there. Even with some fogginess on the camera, you can't see that you have someone there that is really frightening, you know.
Yeah, it's distinct from the rest.
Yeah, and Princess Leia, that is like the front woman from the rebel cause. She is all dressed in white the entire movie, and the bases, the lowest rank soldiers, they are in gray and black, shades of gray. That's the kind of the nuances that you get on the Star Wars movie.
You see, like we're also getting to color, if I'm not mistaken, lasers from the evil are red, while from the good like blue.
Yeah, and that's from lightsabers, but you can see this with the phasers too. That is the blasters. Sorry, phasers it is in Star Trek. In Star Wars, you have the blasters. That is like the pistols and rifles that people uses that shoot lasers from it. And in episodes 4 to 6, the lasers from the rebels are red, and the lasers from the Imperial is green. Like, it's kind of, we have to use this because you're not our enemy, you know. But when you got episode 1 from 3, that is the prequel series of movies, that is the story before this one. In the stormtroopers there are clones. Then they work for they serve to the Republic, and the Republic are the good guys. So the phasers are green too, and people, the separatists are the enemy. The droids users blasters that is red. So it is that kind of the play with colors to say like, okay, you are the bad guy, but in a way you express to be someone that you are not, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of communication, subtle communication through color or lack thereof, right?
Yeah.
What about 7? You mentioned this film, it's a film, right, called 7? Which this guy appears in red, and he's a killer, right? Is, are you the killer, Lucy?
Because I'm in red, and all my background of black, white, and gray. Yeah, I tend to disagree because I have the blue bed, so I'm not a killer.
Kind of agree with you. A killer would never sleep in a blue bed.
That too.
I have another question about. Okay, I have a few other questions, guys. You can interrupt me at any time. So, what are the reasons to shoot a black and white film today? I mean, to actually shoot it in black and white.
Yeah, people is still using black and white to do. We have like Logan. It was just a play with color, okay, but we have some movies. You still can still see my screen?
Yes.
We have this movie from Netflix called Aroma. That is a movie about a housemaid lady that kind of be the maternal figure for some children.
Lucy,
And this is not sharing the screen.
can you zoom in, please? Because it's like too
Oh,
much.
okay. I'm just sharing, choosing a screen picture. Yeah, that's a movie that it was filmed all black and white, and that was the main characteristics of the movie that the director wants to express. It is a drama. It is not just because he wants to make something because he wanted to. He is specialized on films like this. No, he's just a person who said, I have this story, and this story could be made in black and white because I want to make the expression more vivid about every character. I don't need the colors for do this, and black and white could make more interesting to express the every aspect of the personality of every character. And it was made in black and white. We have another from Netflix too that is called Monk, and that one is made is made for people on like in a way to commemorate, to celebrate the art of making cinema, because are about movie producers. And it was cheap uh, a cheap production because like they didn't have to like scenes on night at the night. People didn't need to be at night to shoot a scene like all of the movies, like horror movies that we used to watch. They had this technique that they can use lenses and play with the sky even in daylight to express night. So these kinds of techniques that make easier to create scenes and stuff make the production less cost, and it is kind of revival too. You can express more about everything and make a cheap production and still do great things with it. Do black and white movies is just to get a different experience of things, like I said before. And even in and nowadays movies can be expressed in that way and could be awesome too.
Okay. So the way like lighting in the scene can try to emulate daylight, they found a way to emulate night, lack of light, right? Interesting. Guys, any questions on that? I want you to give us some lighting tips, Lucy, because we are not only consumers of video today, we are creators of video. Even though like we're not all on YouTube or content creators per se, we are on Zoom. Like we communicate mostly remotely. I don't want to say mostly, but commonly remotely. So the way we show up on camera is kind of is the clothes that you're wearing, right? In a way of this era. And you just, for example, when I suggested you turn your screen black and white, you said you're going to look like a villain because of the lateral lighting. And this can impact someone in a job interview, for example, or in a, like Paula is a psychologist, she's every day going online with clients, and she wants to appear innocent, maybe like a wise woman, someone to look up to. and that's open to listening.
Mhm.
So what are the do's and don'ts of lighting in everyday life?
Yeah. Like I just remembered of this meme. That is just the different exposure of lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a joyful guy, and you have the light in front of him, like like a few inches uh, upwards his forehead, and you have the light like emanated from his chest. So every aspect of him is like you have this closed eyebrow, and you got more of the chin and the mouth that they are expressions that you like you are mad with something. Like you tend to do it like you close the eyebrows. Every aspect of your face do like this. Like you. That's why we had this closed face that people tends to say that we have this closed face, because everything is got to get to your inner self, and now you are looking like a villain because everything is like this. But when you move the camera upwards, you like above your forehead, you get every aspect of your
Guys, look at
face.
my camera. I'm emulating what he's saying. So from below, I look like a villain,
Yeah,
and then when I get up my chest and my chin starts to become less villainy.
less villainy, and we can see your face more vividly.
What about now? From
Now
above?
you're just mysterious, and you can see so much of your eye, so you cannot see through you.
Interesting.
Like
What about
on animes people tend to use that is just the reflection of the glasses. Like people want to be mysterious, they adjust the glasses on it, and then the shade of the light or something reflects, and you can not see his eyes. So it's a kind of good. And we have this meme from Juan Carlos Exposito too. That is, he's trying to be a nice president, like, oh, I'm friendly, and people are doing. Uh, they are trying to. I want to be friendly, and you have these two faces of him. Like you have light from a window on his right, and then the camera closes on his face, and you just had this light below him, and all his expressions changes with it, and it's kind of a joke that he done, but that's the kind of thing that creates this illusion about how we got the perspective from who the person are.
Yeah, this is
They
like
even
the only Gustavo I know in
yeah,
the
you
history
have
of.
we have a joke with it on How I Met Your Mother about the captain, because people get his picture and they put
Yeah.
a piece of paper on his eye, and his green is like happy, and
Mm-hmm.
then he shuts the green and just the eye,
Avoid.
and the eye is like he's pissed off and wants to murder you.
Yeah. Interesting. So for context, guys, this is Gustavo Fring, right? It's
Yeah, in this particular
oh,
meme, he is just another character that is from
okay.
a game called Far Cry 6.
Really?
And yeah,
Yeah.
and he is the villain of the
Mm,
of the game.
interesting.
And that character that you mentioned before, it is from Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I here on Google, I just searched for the
Giancarlo. Interesting.
for the
Nice.
name of the actor.
Mhm. Carlos
And he
Pacific.
was a villain too on Mandalore, so he's a villain too on Star Wars. And
Really?
his uniform is all black.
Mhm.
And his stormtroopers, that is the most deadly stormtroopers ever, are called dark troopers.
Mm.
We have like the desert troopers that is kind of yellow. You can have the stormtroopers that we know of, that is the white ones, but they had these dark troopers. That is this one.
Wow. It's really villainous.
Yeah, we have the robot version that it is appears on Mandalore, but the first dark troopers that appears, it was like this.
Mhm.
It was the deadly ones.
Wow. Look awesome. Interesting. Another reason to wear black and to use black in cinema is, I don't know if that's a word, like furtiveness. Is that a word? Like to appear less, I mean, like a spy that has to hide in the shadows. Even though he's doing something good, he cannot, like, black is his go-to color in night missions because of the not wanting to be seen thing, right?
Yeah, because he's want to be stealth, to
Yes.
be
So,
more hidden from everyone. And then now we get some polemics and try to get politics in it. Black and white movies were for time to time not the best thing for cinema, because in the first black and white movies, the color black, it was too intense, so black people couldn't appear.
I was going to ask you that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
how does dark skin actually play a role or doesn't in the
yeah,
history?
and we have this movement on cinema that it was not so good. That is whitewashing. I think that's the name. It was the main perspective on paint people white as if it was a black person to appear in movies, because they can use the color for it. And it is a dark color. People tend to abstract that black people was no good, and it's begin to spread more racism with time to time. And it is not so a good comment to do, but we had a movie that people tend to use it like just to tell a story, but they incitate people to revive the Ku Klux Klan on the 40s and 50s
Mhm.
because of one movie in black and white.
Because
They
of what?
even, yeah, they even say about this movie on Watchmen series that HBO produced,
Mhm.
that I really recommend it to, because they are about they talk about way too much about black culture, and they say even for nowadays, but they explain about a character that was black, that is the grandfather of the main character on Watchmen, and they made all this flash black and black and white. And it's really good to get this perspective on nowadays black and white, and how it is way too different on the black and white that I showed before from the 40s or the 50s.
Interesting. So going back to the lighting tips real quick, I realized I didn't wrap it up. It's about the eyes, right? Like the more you can see someone's eyes, the more you can trust them.
Yeah, Like you said before, you can take a picture or see your own cam like you did before. When you put the light right here, you cannot see your eyes because your eyebrow makes a shadow, and how you and like you are using black and white, your shadow made like a mask of gray in your eyes, and no one can read you. Like you can move your eyebrow to do a different shape, but we cannot see your eyes, so we cannot predict what you are doing or where you're looking at. Like you have this emptiness on yourself. This is commonly used on animation, that you have a fainted character or even dead, and he is with his head down, and you got this shade on their eyes, and when someone's knock it off or something like this, people just drop dead or they are fainted on the floor or something like this. Even with colors, people tend to shade the eyes or just erase the eyes off the face just to get this appearance.
So everything like goes back to primal instincts, right? Like if I am looking for okay, if I am fighting, okay, what I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm looking for people to trust. I'm in this tribe, and you just go into my tribe, and it's dark, and all you do is to bring a fire, and I cannot even see your eyes. I cannot read you. I cannot know if you're hiding a weapon or not. I don't know if you're a threat. So the more you expose, the more I can trust you, right? So if you show your eyes, if you show your body, like by wearing lighter colors, if you show that you're not wearing anything that might hurt me, which white clothes would not hide, then I can trust you more, right? So there's this repetition and this natural selection across thousands of years that made us kind of gravitate towards these associations to these colors. And this is so primal and deep that it does affect how we see people's skin color, as well, as you were mentioning, right? Like for so long, black and white was good and bad. So people kind of just associated to skin color as well. And this is what we're trying to get rid of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mindy, I want to hear from you about what you, like, do you get in touch with Indian cinema? Like, what kind of cinema do you watch? And does black and white play any roles in your repertoire?
There are some black and white movies, but I don't resonate with them because I don't remember them. But what I did grow up with was the era when Indian movies basically moved away from black and white. And there are some really famous, colorful ones. So can I talk about it? I don't want to take it away from Luciano's main presentation. So yeah. Sorry?
Luciano?
Wait.
You're really spaced out. Can
No,
she? Well,
sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, what? Sorry, really sorry.
When I'm talking, you should be listening, mate. Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I was just saying that I didn't really grow up with black and white cinema, Indian cinema anyway. I grew up and was more used to colorful movies, even if it was very vintage. But I found it was still very regal, the colorful experience of Indian cinema. It still had a lot of nostalgia. It had so much more meaning. I don't know what it is, but the quality back then was so much more simmered down and more appreciative than what it is now. So without taking too much away from the black and white presentation that you delivered, all I can say is that it still has that same repertoire, the black and white and the colorful nostalgic movies that I grew up with from back in the day, like around pre-1970s, because I know that that's when black and white movies, they ended around 1960s. So colorful movies in the Indian cinema, they started moving away from black and white. but they still had that same effect where they knew how to balance it both. So I guess it was a cusp of everything. So yeah, it was really interesting. I can drop some recommendations if you want to.
Yeah, I really want to. I know that the first colorful movies, I think, in India got that too. It was not kind of the camera caught the colors of it. It was more like it was painted on it was painted ahead of the black and white, I think. Like it was like, yeah, as afterwards. Like it was just a layer on your Photoshop. You know, you have this all black and white colored picture, and people just start to put the colors on it. Like when you see colors of Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was an actress of black and white colored movies, and it was comedy movies, so you can watch it too. People tends to paint colored Marilyn. People start to color people from back then. Like this picture, it was created on black and white, and people colored artificially with Photoshop. Like even some pictures from World War II. Like we have this. It is an awesome documentary. Yeah, and we have this awesome documentary on Netflix called World War II in True Colors, and it is really just pictures in black and white that people digitally colored. And World War II. Like you can have this DD shoot, and it was just colored artificially. Like people had the reference about the clothing, about the weapon, and about everything that was the composition of the scenery back then, and try to color it. And it was a really good job too. But back then, you had films on Technicolor, like Wizard of Oz. You have these strong colors on everything else. Like you have like Wizard of Oz from 38 to 39, I guess. I guess it's 39. Like all of the movie was created like in this aspect. You know, you have this beige, like I said before, and
with sepia tones, right?
Yeah, and like the sepia tone, and you got this, like you can see like how artificial the colors are, you know, because it was not like a paint made nothing. Okay, it is a fantastic world, so you can expect to be more colorful, but you see that nowadays you can have natural colors in fantastic worlds. So that's the kind of thing that is really different, that because everything is so exposure and really joyful thing that you can see that you have this artificial lighting and artificial thing going on. But back then it was really amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think India got that because film in India was quite too early. It's not like so ancient as the American movies and movies on Europe, but they get this influence. But they had colored movies back then, and all of the culture and dances and clothing on India meant about color. So much get into the culture that I didn't know, or is not so famous. You got to see black and white Indian movies, and I really don't know anyone that got black and white movies, Indian black and white movies. Even Bollywood don't do black and white movies.
No, I think they need to revisit their roots. I do.
Okay. So Lucy will be giving us some film recommendations. Like, don't refrain from like giving us as many recommendations as you can. I think you gave us as some already, right? All of these that you mentioned, so you can list them down, and some others that that you mentioned throughout the talk.
Yeah, you have already noted ones, né? I know you, so you got your notes from some movies that I.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Wizard of Oz that is kind of mixed.
You do have to do it now. I mean, you're gonna. I'll give me a list and I'll send them over to.
Oh, so I have to make a list. I thought that I have to shoot some movies right now and you will make the list. But okay, I can send it.
You can tell me on WhatsApp and I can organize.
Okay. Okay. So I can select more carefully some movies.
Perfect. So guys, let's take a picture. As always, Lo is showing up now for the picture.
Oi, meu bem.
Tu leva pra minha camisa?
Luiz, peraí.
Rafael!
Tchau, Rafael!
Você levar pra mim, tá?
Tá.
Vou deixar bem aqui na entrada da casa.
Exactly in the moment of the photo.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
And it is on YouTube, so people now are starting to believe on it.
Yeah. So now you can share this link on Instagram as well and
Yeah.
help me.
Tchau, amor.
Tchau, amor, te amo.
Just dubbing. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Perfect.
I tried to make sure I didn't look like an egg, because I don't know when you're taking pictures and you're going to exhibit me looking like an egg next time.
No, all miracles, Mindy. I'm not owning.
Thanks.
I'm kidding. How do I avoid that?
You can't. If that's me, I have to
look
avoid
like
it.
an egg. Don't. Never do. Okay.
That's not what you told me.
Sorry? You were looking at
That's not
that
what you told
particular
me.
picture on that day because of the lighting, but today you're not.
Light does not make an egg. It's the person. I'm only joking. Sorry.
So great to see you all guys. It was very interesting to hear about black and white cinema from Lucy. Actually, I was surprised that we could talk about it for so long. I thought like I was kind of afraid that the topic would die out. And thank you for being here. I'll be sending you like the page on Notion with this picture and with the film recommendations. So enjoy the rest of your day. And for you guys who live in São Luís, you're going to be meeting at 4 p.m. at Doc Brown today. Okay.